I don't know, like, she's out there. You're the Florida version of Sex in the City, JD.
That's when I was smoking my cigars.
Don't be an asshole today.
Okay. All right. So we are going to let Julie in. Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
Here comes Julie. Oh my God. There she is. Okay. Well, welcome back, Julie Schurr, success strategist extraordinaire. Well, you know what? How about this, man? Today is the first day of fall.
You would not know it down here, that's for sure.
We got rain today.
Did you?
For like the first time in like 3 months, like significant rain. So it marks up, and it was cool. It was actually just a little refreshing.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know. It was perfect.
So this is so weird. You're in the UK, you're in Spain, and I'm in the US. This is crazy.
It is. It's a little nuts.
If you hear any barking, Cora is in the hallway. She can be a bit distracting. She's very cute. But
the dog's face, man.
She's
every
adorable.
time you post a picture, I want to just go boop and touch her nose.
Oh, and she'll let you. Well, she won't let you do it because she's scared of everyone, but like me and one other person. But
she'll get there. She'll get there.
I don't know. She is 2.5 years. She's been with me 2 years now.
Yeah.
And she is like, nah, thanks.
But she was probably like abused for way longer.
Oh, she's actually, she was only 5 months old when I got her.
Really?
It was a bad 5 months. It was a bad 5 months. She was, but you know what? She's curious about people. She follows them. But if they're facing her, no. Nope. Yeah, she is not about, she's like, no. But as soon as they're walking away, she's like, I'm gonna smell.
Oh. Well, I keep telling Gemma, I feel like my little girl cat, like we got her in 2018. Was it 2019 maybe? And she's, a pandemic cat. So she's never really been without us. So she's a little bit needy. And I keep saying maybe this will be the year that she just calms down a little bit. She's always on me and always and it's like it it's like confliction, like I got things I got to do, like get off me, but then I don't want to move. It's so cute.
Imagine how annoying that would be if she were a person doing that. Like, what are you doing, Space? Where are you going? Can I come too? Where are you?
Yes. It's like sometimes she'll be in a dead sleep and I put the recliner thing down and she wakes up and she jumps up like, where are we going? And I'm just like, just the fridge. Look at me. Look at the size of me. It's the fridge. It's always going to be the fridge. God.
Oh, funny. There are people that are like that, I think, out there.
There are.
It would be horrible. It would be absolutely horrible. I mean, I love her to pieces, but she just seems to need that, constant stimulation all the time. But as she gets older, maybe she'll just sleep more. Just sleep.
I'm hoping about Cora as well. Yeah. Just she sleeps, but the intensity of her energy when she is excited, it's like she snorted a line in the bathroom. And just, she's either 0 or 100.
100, yeah.
Same with her. There's really not a lot of in between with her. So
well, Gemma was away. The last week before she came home, every morning that I would wake up, there would be a hair tie on the stair, and I was like, what's happening? So then Gemma would call later that evening and I'd be like, where would she have gotten this? And I hold up a hair and she was like, I don't know. And then one day it was like an envelope and a hairband, and then it was 2 hairbands, and then I'm like, where is this treasure trove of hairbands? I would go in every room and I would look, where could they be coming from? every drawer is closed, every closet is closed. Like, where is this coming from? And I realized she was sticking her paw in this tiny little slimline cabinet that had a hole where the handle is, like, to pull it out. She was sticking her paw in there and grabbing whatever was in there and pulling it out. So I had to turn all the drawers around.
It's a good
Oh
thing
my
she wasn't
God.
ordering from Amazon. Like
I
all of a
would-
sudden packages start showing up.
One a day.
Never
arrives.
know with her, I swear to God.
She
She's
might
not.
need to see Julie about her.
Let's
Maybe.
channel that into some
Yeah.
positivity.
That's
How can we do
yeah.
that? How can we do that?
If I could do that, I mean,
Yeah. Oh my God, there's a career.
there's a market right there.
Yeah, you put Cesar Milan in shame. But
Oh.
I got to tell you, man, I had a conversation with my friend, and she had just recently quit her job, and she's struggling with professions, passion versus profession. And I'm like, man, have I got the tip for you?
I'll send her my way.
Yeah, you might hear from her.
Yeah, I mean, 20 minutes can't hurt, see if there's something we can work with. So just have her email me.
That's what I told her. Yep.
Oh.
She may, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, just tell her Denise sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we were coming up with things that we were going to discuss on this week's show. And you said we were like, you wanted to point out the differences between what you do and what a life coach does, right?
Oh, no, like the differences between what I do and like what a counselor or therapist does. Because I mean, technically what I'm doing is life coaching. That's the course I'm taking is called coaching. We don't call it life coaching, we call it coaching. Because it's very broad to say life. Most of us specialize.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, life is a little
That's
too
huge.
big. Yeah, no, and I mean, I think that's one of the problems. People have no idea what the hell it is that coaches do. But I mean, within my class, there are only like there are 9 other people, so they're very small classes, and I mean, not one of us specializes in the same thing.
That's cool, though.
I mean, there are people who deal with, there's someone who specializes in parents working with children between certain ages, how to form a good dialogue and help them through problems in school when parents don't know how to talk to their kids. There's someone who does relationships for 50 plus. There's someone who does finding love in your 30s and 40s outside of the bar community. There is someone who does only work with high-powered professionals, like people who earn like 300K and up a year. She works with them, and I mean, it's just all about what you're familiar with in your life, what you feel comfortable with. So saying life coach is weird, but like that's why I like strategist, success strategist a little bit more. But I do fall into, I'm a coach, in the end. My area is LGBTQ women, lesbian women, over 30. And for the most part, I'm still kind of shaping where my main focus is, because, I'll help wherever I can, but I think the main areas that I just keep getting drawn to is like overcoming that negative self-talk that you have, and seeing things from a new perspective while trying to reach a goal, like maybe a goal that you think you can't get to, which, a lot of us over 30 think that, a lot of women over 30 think that, and a lot of lesbian women over 30 think that, it just, it becomes just increasingly harder as you add, okay, over 30 woman, over 30 lesbian woman, and then, over 30 lesbian woman in country that didn't really love you when you were growing up.
Yeah.
Like, how do you overcome that stuff? Because I really believe, like, the reason I want to go for that is because I truly believe, like, they're just mental blocks that a lot of us have at this point in our life, and especially in, this community. But I truly believe like that it's just ourselves. We're our only obstacle. And I can what I do is I try to come up with an actionable, measurable plan so that you can actually see progress happening. And as soon as that progress starts, like, people feel good. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, the people I've worked with the practice sessions, the people who have actually done the work, which is very minimal when you're starting, you know, like
Yeah.
you get what you put in, really, you know. But I mean, I've gotten some really amazing messages just out of the blue, like, hey, this thing that we talked about, I actually have been doing it, and now I've done this, and I just wanted to tell you, like, that makes me feel so good, because it starts out with them saying, I can't do this anymore. It's not possible.
Right.
Yeah.
But why? I want to hear why. And as you know, maybe even, you know, as you talk to a friend, you know, if someone asks you the right questions,
Mm-hmm.
you just you maybe come to a different conclusion than you normally would, you know.
Yeah, it definitely has a different impact, doesn't it? Like if
Yeah.
somebody asks you a question that you haven't considered, or
Right.
you know, says like, try looking at it this way, you know,
Right.
the way that they have not considered. It's kind of like a, you know, like pouring beans out of a bottle and they all get backed up, but one bean comes out and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know, yeah,
It's
Right. That's
true.
a great analogy.
you know, kind of like, yeah, the bean got moved and now everything can flow like what do you call it?
Unfettered.
Unhindered, yeah, unhindered. Let it go. Like let those, you know, a different perspective is like a milestone.
Yeah.
It's an actual milestone, you know.
And it's very easy to get to. It's just that I think you have to have a catalyst, and I serve as the catalyst.
Right,
You know,
right.
so it's just, you know, having someone who's not in the middle of it look from the outside, and you can see so much from the outside. When you're in something, like, I need someone to talk to. I mean, I don't coach myself for a reason.
Right, of
You
course.
know, I
Yeah.
can't see things that I'm
Yeah.
dealing with other than one way, because I'm stuck.
Yeah.
You know, to have someone else, that we actually have partners in in the course I'm in, so that we can do just that.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
We
Yeah.
coach each other outside of the class a few times a week. So we work together, practice coaching, help each other with issues that we're working on, just so we can, you know, like, get through, you know.
You have to see for yourself that it works.
Right.
Otherwise, what are you selling? You know what I mean? Like, wait,
And it does
yeah,
work.
that's what I
I
mean.
think-
Like, that's great. That
Someone
that
holding
you're
up a
getting
mirror
going.
that
Yeah.
you know is you know 5,000 miles away. Someone holding up a mirror and saying, look, but this problem is different than what you're seeing. You know, here's what I see.
Yeah.
And you know, just like asking you, well, you know, have you thought of, why do you think of this? Why are
Yeah.
you looking at it this way? Can you explain? You know, and then you actually can sit there and realize, well, I'm thinking of it this way because it feels comfortable to think of it this way. And there are other ways to think of it. Yeah. I mean, comfort is good, but it can be very dangerous when you want to.
Yeah, it really causes complacency, you know.
Yeah, it does.
Big time.
I think you are a great example, like your own life, to be doing this, because you've done so many things that you've moved and reinvented, and so you're a great example to someone else that may be coming to you. And like I said, I love the demographic that you are targeting, which is women over 30, right? Did you say over
Mhm.
30? Who are a lot of mostly, and most of the time it's women, but people in general, usually women more than men, feel like it's too late to
Yeah.
try to
Oh,
change
definitely.
and
Yeah.
to try
Yeah.
to reinvent and do something else. And I think that it's really good for them to have someone like you that has not only done that, but you can help guide them and show them that it's possible. 'Cause
Yeah,
it is
I mean,
possible.
I'm
It's
not
totally
rich, and most of the major milestones in my life happened after 35.
Mhm.
I mean, those are the major things. I didn't graduate from college until I was 37. I didn't
Right.
move to Spain
Yeah,
until I was
yeah.
40. I didn't get married until I was 40. You know, like, I mean,
People think it's
Yeah.
too late and that to try something.
Well,
And
I think it's like they've been told,
yeah,
you know, like
you're
they've been
conditioned.
told, they're conditioned, right, to think
Mhm.
that they have a certain window to complete, you know, things. And if they haven't hit those marks, they either give up, you know,
Right.
or they think
Right.
it's too late, you know, but
Right.
yet in the same vein, aren't women the ones that are eager to reinvent?
Yes.
Like you never hear a guy saying, well, you know, at 50, I had to
Yeah. They
had to
love
really think
themselves
about
just the way they are.
reinventing myself. Yeah, like no, women are doing that because, you know, they understand that there's more chapters to be written.
Right.
You know, like geez, you
You know,
know,
if you're lucky,
great.
it's very feasible to get another 40 years out of life at this point of my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, why would I
happy,
think it's done? I
happy
mean,
years too. Like, you
yes,
know, like
yes.
you're
I
not
mean,
just
that
sitting
is
in the recliner
right,
coasting.
not just
Right,
wasting
exactly.
away.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just that we're conditioned to think that it's over. It's we're conditioned to think that there's something inherently wrong with us if we haven't done
Yeah.
things by 30. We're
Right.
supposed to have a house, kids, a husband, a wife, a car,
A career.
career,
Yeah.
recognition, awards. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Let's be real. Most of us hit 21 and just lose our minds for a while. You know, I mean, we lose it. And then, you know, we think we've settled down, but we realize, no, I am still a baby. At 25,
Yeah.
most people, and I'm not going to overgeneralize because there are exceptions to this rule, but
Of course.
I mean, for the most part, at 25, you are brand new.
Yeah.
You know, you are brand new in the world. Yeah, you graduated at 18, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. You know, the thing too is like, I was just saying this to my wife, like everything changes so fast now. Like this is the society that we're in, you know, like life in general right now at this stage is to me like an iPhone. You know, you buy the 12, the 14 comes out next year. You buy the, you know, like
Yeah.
it's everything is always changing and getting better and everything. And it's not that it's a struggle to keep up, but you know, you always have that feeling that you're, you know,
You feel the pressure.
chasing it, you know, chasing
Behind,
it, chasing it.
behind chasing,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's that I think that sometimes will beat us down a little bit, you know.
Yeah. I mean, a
So-
lot of those things are distractions, though, in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're there to keep you complacent in the larger picture. Like, should I reinvent myself? Should I quit this stupid job where maybe, you know, my boss is treating me like crap? I haven't gotten a raise in 10 years. I know I deserve one. I'm not recognized. Oh, but I need the new iPhone. Like, I mean, there's no fault in that, but I feel like a lot of those things, you know,
Oh, yeah,
are
that's
distracting us from the fact that we are inherently maybe not where we want to be. Like, you don't have to give up the dreams you have, even if they're something huge or small. Like, I mean,
That's very true.
there's so many different kinds of dreams. I mean, what if
Right.
someone just
yeah.
wants, okay, well, I want a better living situation where maybe I live closer to a park. That is not technically a big dream, but you know what? That's a valid dream.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
not
I mean,
to achieve, depending
Yeah.
on.
but how do you get there? Well, let's figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
And what if someone says, you know what, I don't like this line of work. I want to get in tech and I want to try to make, you know, $1 million in the next 10 years. You know
Yeah.
what? I think that's achievable. If,
Mhm.
you know, I do, but you have to also, you know, take into account what area of tech and the schooling that it'll take you to get there. And,
Right.
you know, let's look at connections and see if we can make something close to that happen.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
both of them are valid dreams. And
Right.
You
people
keep
just
people in
stop
reality. You
thinking
keep
of them,
people-
you know?
Yeah, you keep people in reality. So if they tell you,
Yeah.
I want to be a millionaire in tech, you're like, that's possible. And this is, you got to figure out the steps you're going
Right.
to. There
Right.
are
My job
steps
is not to
do
lie
that.
to you.
You're
Right.
right.
Also, I'm not going to tell you you can't do anything, but you know, if someone, you know, emailed me tomorrow was like, hey, you know, I want, you know, 2 Porsches, you know, by next year. But right now, you know, I have a minimum wage job.
Right.
I'm not going to advise you to rob a bank. And
Right.
sure, you could play the lottery, but
Right.
you know, I'm going to ask them why they feel the need to have 2 Porsches by next year. I
Yeah.
want to know where this is coming from, and let's work on that. Let's figure out where you know, maybe
You
that's
know what I like about this is that it's not like spending an hour sitting on a couch in a therapy office. It's like It's just a little dusting of therapy to
Well,
get to the why,
yeah, it's,
you know,
I mean,
but it's not digging deep and saying, when you were a kid, did
No.
your dad have Porsches? You know, like it's
Right.
not that
Right.
at all.
Right.
It's just this.
No, in fact, that's against my ethical pledge. My
Right.
and that's actually what I was going to mention today. And I know you asked me, Denise, to talk about my training a little bit.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up today that I think one of the large problems with, you know, how maybe what I do is perceived like as being silly is just there are a few things, but like first, it was highly unregulated, and still there isn't a lot of regulation. Like anybody can say, I'm a life coach and put their stuff
Right.
up there. You
Yeah.
have to look for accredited people. I mean, you don't, I'm sure there are great people out there doing this that aren't accredited.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I have a governing body that I answer to. I have a school, and they are accredited by the International Coaching Foundation.
That's cool.
Federation, I'm sorry. So the ICF is international. They're the governing body here in Spain, in the US, everywhere. They make sure the schools are, you know, giving the correct amount of hours, the correct amount of practice. They have certified teachers, et cetera, et cetera. Because it's, I mean, I have to pledge, I have to take, I have to sign, you know, do a thing on ethics. I have to do a small area on ethics. Know what the violations are, and sign that I will uphold my duty to be ethical. And one of those things is I will not and cannot treat and diagnose anything, because I'm not certified to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not licensed to do that. I'm not trained to
Right.
do that. I am not a doctor. I am not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I am not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I'm none of those things. And one of my pledges includes, if someone comes to me as a client and starts, let's say, no, it all comes down to the wording. If someone says, you know, I've been very depressed lately and I really want to figure out maybe how to manage my time better. Okay, let's figure out how to manage your time better.
Yeah.
You know, that's great. If someone comes to me and says, I've been really depressed lately and I really want to fix that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to have to say at that point, due to my pledge, like what I have agreed to do, I have to say, okay, you know, I am not qualified to diagnose or treat any mental illness, any past trauma,
Right,
nothing
right.
like that. We can talk about, maybe if you want to tell me like ways that this affects your life and maybe how you can bring some joy into your life, like with maybe hobbies or something. I cannot touch on any kind of technique. This is, coaching is client led. So I have to ask the right questions to help the client realize what they can do. So I'm not giving a lot. I'm asking a lot, you know, I'm just kind of shining a light. I'm not leading anyone anywhere. They're leading themselves and I'm just kind of shining the light.
Mhm.
So since I am actually going to a school that is accredited by the ICF, the difference here is that than just, you know, going online and saying, oh, I'm going to coach people.
Right.
I am I am governed. My name will be reportable. So if
Yeah.
I mess up, if I violate something, you can find and report me, and they can find me and then ban me. So, I mean, I have things at stake as well. I have my integrity at stake as well. And I think, I know some like counselors and therapists don't like life coaches. I think maybe that's because they don't really know what we do though. You know, I work from now forward. I don't go backwards. I
Right.
don't look to the past at all.
I like that
I can't. And I
attitude.
won't,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's not, I don't want to deal with that. If I wanted to be that in depth, I'd go back to college, you know, and I
Right.
don't, I like here forward. And I think these are things that people can handle on their own. I feel that people are capable of doing this on their own, but I can help, you know, I can help kind of guide shine the light.
Yeah.
But
Do you
you know,
have- do you
that's a big difference, I think.
Are
That
you
is-
accessible to your clients? Like if they need to speak to you like say a hotline kind of a thing? Like, can they call you in the evening or on a weekend if they have like an emergency or a personal, some
That's
kind of
actually that's a really great comment. That's a question. I'm sorry, not comment. I actually have been thinking, I'm putting together some packages and things for, the future of my life, hopefully. And one of them, well, most of them will actually, I'm going to include access through email or WhatsApp. And I mean, that WhatsApp I know is not popular in the US, but it's a quick free download and you can make, as long as you're in your Wi-Fi, which in the US you always are,
Yeah.
you can text for free, call for free internationally. The only reason I would limit it to messages and emails is because of the time difference. I'm 7 hours ahead. So if someone gets off of work at 8 o'clock in the US and they call me, I am in bed. So,
Yeah.
I am long since sleeping. And if it is that big of an emergency, they need someone more qualified than me. I will tell you, I will say that. I am very good for a lot of things, but if it is that big of an emergency, I'm going to guess 99% of the time that is a counselor, psychologist, therapist situation. Yeah. But yes,
like,
people can touch base, and
I would imagine that people would be like, maybe before an interview, a job interview, or
oh yeah,
an hour before, like, I didn't get with my coach and get some motivational,
oh yeah.
get some hardcore motivation before I go into this meeting, and
Well, that's one of the things I work with, productive dialogue.
like that
you need
kind of an
powerful
emergency
dialogue.
would be completely
Oh
right
yeah,
in the
definitely.
wheelhouse, right? Yeah.
Something like that, or oh my God, I'm really stressed out. I just had, 3 of my kids all brought home things that are due tomorrow. I have to be partially responsible for all of them. And, like my wife's not home until later and can't help. How do I manage this? Okay, let's manage your time. Let's break it down and see how we can delegate, because when that hits, you're overwhelmed. Like, okay, yeah, a quick session like that, if they're a client, if they're, their client, like, I don't mean like an hourly, because hourly honestly is just like, that's one quick thing, but if we're working together to get you somewhere, then yes, you have access to me. I let people know, okay, give me 24 hours, but usually I'm going to respond before then, just in case I have an emergency,
Right,
I
right,
also have life.
You can't overpromise and underdeliver. You've got to,
right.
definitely.
But yeah, reasonably, I get back quickly, because I know, I mean, these are important things to people, and maybe
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think therein lies the difference between you being a coach and then someone who's a therapist or a counselor, that they're not available. They have their office hours and not usually Monday through Friday. So that makes you more personal, like more of personal help to them.
Right.
And more of a lifeline, I think, because I think it's a little more one-on-one, and like you're the person in their corner for what's going on.
Oh yeah. I mean, I am, like I said last time, I mean, I'm a cheerleader. I'm a cheerleader with some training, like I want you to succeed and I want to help you get there, and if you have a moment of panic, and I don't mean clinical panic, just for anyone who's listening,
Right.
You have a moment of overwhelmed,
Right.
oh my God, this all just hit. What do I do? Okay, well, let's figure out how we can do that. Like, how can we make it work?
It's like a voice of reason, like
an outsider looking in, and that makes a big difference. But an outsider who is cheering for you, so that makes a big difference too.
Keeping it real at the same time, because if someone came to you and said, I want to be a supermodel, in a year, and say they're, overweight or they're older or they're whatever, not a supermodel, whatever, for lack of a better example.
Sure.
It's real for people, but, or if they want the Porsche next year and they're working at a minimum wage job. So that's important too, because you're not just telling them what they want to hear. I like the fact that you let them see the steps it's going to take to get to that
That's sometimes
Well, they find the steps.
way. Yeah.
They actually find the steps. I
Right,
just kind of
them
help
find it.
them see that the steps are possible.
Mhm.
They build their own steps all the way there because I'm not in the person's life. I don't know what step is really hard. Something that's really difficult to me might be super simple to them and vice versa. So what I do is I just kind of ask the right questions to get you rolling.
Yeah, right.
Like, and
right.
once you're rolling, I hold you accountable. I ask you why you haven't done those things. If I call you in a week, I messaged someone the other day and they were like, I didn't respond because I've been, procrastinating and, but I'm doing other things. Okay. You're doing other things is moving. That's awesome. It doesn't matter if it's exactly what you said or not, but you're moving. So that's good, and that's what I'm doing. It's measurable. If you can see it happening, you're moving forward.
Right.
And I'm going to just be like, yeah, okay, what next? What do you want next? How does this make you feel? Now, once that's out of the way, how does the path look to you? What is daunting to you? What do you want to change? Or do you want to keep going? And we just recalibrate until you are closer, or it's something you can reach without a problem, without me,
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
important one.
You're kind of teaching them how to be their own motivators.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that might be giving me a lot of credit that I'm teaching them. But the thing is, if you start realizing, and I'm saying this from my own perspective, not as someone who coaches, just as someone who is alive. Once someone shows you that things are possible that you thought were impossible, like you can do this, or once you actually do it and you're like, oh my God, I did that. And I put that off for 5 years and I never thought maybe it's an accident. You just suddenly start feeling this amazing feeling, and so many more things become accessible. You see them as accessible, and it just keeps growing, and that's what I want for people, and I like being a part of that, makes me feel good.
I would, maybe like you're not teaching them how to motivate them. You're teaching them how to motivate themselves.
Yeah.
All your coaching, will eventually give them the tools.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To motivate themselves. Cause I think, like one of my biggest problems is staying motivated.
It's
I
hard.
get super excited about a project, and as I'm hitting, like all these things, then all of a sudden I'm like, what can I do next? Like now now that's good, but what can I do? What can I do bigger, better, faster, better, and and if that doesn't come as quick, then I just kind of like drop off. So
oh yeah, but it's not always about and that's one of the big problems, like just diving in and attacking something that really should, in theory, take 6 months and trying to do it in a week.
Yeah.
And then getting down on yourself when you don't do it.
Exactly.
Well, that's not fair to you because it's impossible. Like people take years to do this, and why do you feel the need that you have to do it in a week or you can't? So not every coach does this. Actually, I don't think a lot of us do, but I like the accountability. I always give my people I've been speaking with a challenge at the end before we end our 20 minutes. And I ask them if they're comfortable with it, and I give them a challenge. It's just a very small thing. They help me kind of think of a good challenge. Maybe it's a list, maybe it's depending on what they want to achieve or change. And then I make them set a deadline that is workable for them. And I tell them, okay, I'm going to call or email you the day. Usually I message at this point, a day or a few weeks after that. And after the date, see how you did. If you did it, awesome. If you want to continue, let me know and we'll set up the next one. Or if it didn't work for you, I want you to tell me why and how we can change it. Because if you try it and it doesn't work, okay, did it feel bad? It didn't work in your time. It made other people in your family think you were, neglecting your time with them. Okay, then let's look at the issue and we recalibrate and we find something that works better. Because you have to keep testing things. you can't dive into a huge thing. And I tell everybody it's puzzle pieces, just, you have to start with one. If you're going to put the picture together, it doesn't really matter which one, usually, as long as you're putting one after one. You can't
Right.
try to just dump the box on the ground and hope the whole picture puts itself together.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. Like, mastery doesn't happen like in a week,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and it's I mean, if it does, awesome, for some people it does, but like, it's not fair to get down on yourself and tear yourself apart just because you have, society tells you you should this,
Yeah.
you should that. No, you shouldn't. No.
I
Yeah.
tend to
And
set
sometimes it is
myself
like
up
a
for failure.
subconscious self-sabotaging.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I
So,
do that.
I tend to do that self-sabotage, setting myself up for failure, because I will make my to-do list with
Mhm.
far too many things that I'm going to be able to get done in that day or week or whatever that to-do list period of time is. And then you just feel stressed because you feel like you're chasing, like Denise said.
Mhm.
And then then it becomes daunting. And then I'll just sit there with too many things to do and now not enough time. And then I don't do any of it and I put on mindless TV.
Oh, I've heard that so many times, and I've done that so many
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty
it's-
common, isn't it? That's really common. And
Yeah.
I've really learned from that. And I think that goes way back to Jay, we were talking about this when I was spinning my wheels with trying to get the lesbian lounge off the ground.
Yeah.
Big lessons learned back then, like big lessons. And now I'm the kind of person that, like one thing a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
one thing a day, let's knock that out. And then we got a whole nother day for a whole nother thing, is kind of what like where I'm at. Like, that's the pace that I find so doable. I just said to my wife, I'm like, you just see my week next week. I have like an eye test on Monday. I got to get Bruce ready for the mobile groomer on Tuesday. Wednesday, got a podcast. Thursday, I'm getting my second COVID booster. She was like, that's a lot for you. I never have that many things going on, but it's one thing a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you helped me when you were saying what I'm telling you. There's a few things I want to do and getting people to do for things for the podcast. And Denise is like, "Whoa, settle down! You have to get ready for your show." I have a
Easy,
show.
girl, focus. It was just like
Focus.
going
You
off the
already
rails here,
post a little on this thing so you could focus on that thing, and that's where I need to learn to do that. Like, I put the whole thing in a pile in front of me.
Oh no,
Oh,
that's bad.
gosh,
No,
yeah.
you can't do that.
I get overwhelmed.
No, that is horrifying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's horrifying.
I can't. I mean, I think some people thrive off that, but I am not one of them.
Yeah,
I
me
never
too.
recommend, like, if someone comes up with that, I'm like, if it works for you, that's great. I mean, because like I said, I don't set the steps.
Right.
But if that falls apart, the second meeting, I'm going to say, how about 5 things on a list for the week? Which is actually the number would that work for you? For me, something, and speaking, because I don't give advice. I ask if I can give suggestions that have come out of other meetings. But I don't give advice. That's not what I do. But so that said, not speaking as a coach, something that helps me a lot when I am working with getting a lot of things done, and lists actually do help me, but only because I changed how I did them, JD.
Yeah.
I make a list, and probably you too, Denise, like, I make a list, but for most days when I feel like I have a lot of things coming up, but I list really mundane tasks on them that are simple.
Oh yeah.
And then
Dishwasher.
the more I have checked off, the
Feels
better
good.
I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, go to the grocery store. Well, no, I need food.
Mhm.
Fold the laundry.
Vacuum, fold laundry.
Wash the, clean the mirror.
I
Those
I live
tiny
my life like that. I send them a list of
important.
things that I did all day, and they're so minute.
Oh,
But
that's your
that's how-
accomplishment list.
Yeah. That is a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like you've accomplished something then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I throw one big thing in there. The thing I don't want to do goes in there too.
Yeah.
Right,
But
right.
Yeah.
then the thing is, even if I didn't get that done, let's say it's not super pressing and I didn't get it done. When I look at the list, okay, there are 5 things on there. I only crossed off 4 and the big one's not crossed off, but the other 4 are.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like that
yeah.
approach. I really like that approach because in my lists that I overwhelm myself with, I never put the things like you said, the grocery store, like the obvious things you're going to need to do.
it takes effort though.
There's not enough time to do all those things on the list because I have to do those other things anyway.
Right. You
So
do.
if
So
you
you
see
should put them on there. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
those are things that you, unless you can pay someone to go do them for you, those are things that take your energy, your time, your money. So they're
They're
things that have to get done.
accomplishments.
They
Yeah,
are.
they're
They're
accomplishments.
They are.
Yeah.
the one thing a day approach. I think I'm going to start doing that.
That is my favorite. That is my favorite because that doesn't include all my vacuuming, laundry, making dinner. Da, da, da. It's that one thing a day is the thing that's not part of that I have
Right.
to do, and I got to work it into that list.
Mhm.
You know, so if I get that done, I'm like, I'm winning, winning.
I love that Gemma said that to you. That's a lot for
That's a
you.
lot for you.
Great.
Like she knows I'm a one thing a day, and she knows, like 2 or 3 days before a travel day, like when we're flying home or whatever, that I get super snippy and snappy because I'm in my head doing, don't forget your earbuds, don't forget this, don't forget that, in my head constantly. And then she'll say something, I'll be like, what? Like, right now. And she'll just know that it's travel related. So she doesn't take it personally, but I'm like getting overwhelmed. So we started doing the pre-travel lists,
Mhm.
we have Post-its with the things on, it's like, because it does end up being a lot, especially when you're dealing with like your pet sitter and you're this and you're that.
Oh yeah.
All
yeah.
these things, and
That's
like I'm the type of
lot.
person that has to leave the house spotless so that we come home to it spotless. Trash has to be taken out, coffee pots clean, all that kind of, ridiculous. Like but it's in a weird way, even though it's overwhelming me, I need that to be done to be able to continue the actual travel day
Yeah.
without that
Right.
stuff on my mind.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's very strange, like the levels of of that kind of stuff, like how going to get a haircut doesn't stress me out, but having to make sure the house is clean before we travel, like it's a different kind of stress.
I get that. I
Yeah.
totally get that.
Yeah, different levels. And I can imagine, Julie, for a coach, finding the thing that, I know a person is going to open up to you and tell you, things about themselves that are going to help you help them find the right motivation, and in my head, I just go, my motivation is that, like, I'm knocking out a stressor. That's it,
Yeah.
but sometimes people need more than that, and finding the right,
Yeah, everybody's different. Every single person I talk to, I
is
mean,
completely different,
I've-
right? That's challenging.
oh yeah, I mean, it's just, it really, my best tool right now is just a ton of questions, and they're not hard, it's not like I'm asking you to solve math equations.
Right.
It's just, we're just we're digging through the bullshit essentially to what the actual main issue is. I've had someone tell me time management before, is what they want to fix, and actually it just turned out what was that? It wasn't time management. Oh, I forgot. They said time management, and it was just such a big, huge, nebulous thing. But it was, they felt just very disorganized, and like they talked negatively to themselves because of it. Like, if I don't get all these things, like what we're talking about now, essentially, more or less exactly. But like, if I don't get all these things done in this day, then I am horrible. I'm just not good enough. I'm not
a failure.
supposed to
I'm
be
a failure, that
right.
like
But
that light comes on.
And you know, my question at that point would be, okay, I mean, I think that's a common thought, but you know, are you really a failure at that point? Like, are you truly a failure at that point?
Right.
Like, I mean, okay, and if they say yes, then I want an explanation. What is a failure to you? Like,
Yeah.
what do you feel? I mean, what makes you a failure? I want you to tell me. Like, I
Yeah.
want to hear you say the reasons. And then, you know, people list off, well, I only have this, and I only have this, and I only have, I'm like, okay, you're listing an amazing amount of accomplishments, but you're saying only, I only have this job, I only have this kind of house, I only have these
Those
cars.
are key
And I'm
words,
like,
right?
right, you
Only
are
and
listing
just.
amazing
Right.
things.
Yeah.
These are all huge, and I know it's not what you want, but these are not just, these are great. And
Right.
from here, you can move to where you want those things, but you're not a failure. You're
Yeah.
just not at the
Yeah.
level
You
of
can't
success you
discount the
want.
little things.
No, not at
Yeah.
all. You're a
Little
success.
things add up to a lot. And I think people
yeah.
just forget that. Like all these
It's true.
little things add up to a lot. You
Mhm.
know, you kept your
And-
kid alive today.
And,
Like
and
that's the
living,
simplest one. You kept your kid alive
there
today.
you go.
I like your goals. I like where you
Come
what you
on. You
like
can't
that.
discount those things though.
No, you have to
Yeah.
recognize them. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm, you know, this comes in, you know, as someone who's I've dealt with, you know, some serious depression in my life. And, you know, I think a lot of my pushing people to recognize small things as achievements comes from that, because
Yeah.
you know, when I was really bad in my late 20s, or, you know, after music, really, I got
Yeah.
really bad for a while. And, you know, I couldn't afford, you know, mental health care in the US. I mean, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. But I started to kind of like, I wanted to be okay. And, you know, I don't even know the moment that I realized it, or somebody pointed it out to me. I don't remember. But, you know, I realized, okay, I have to, the one task I make myself do every day, and it's from that time, I will not go to bed without my dishes clean,
Oh,
because that is one thing I accomplished in the day, and I made myself do it no matter how bad I felt. I did it.
yeah.
And just that one thing, and I mean, most people I'm talking to are not in that place in their life. And if they are, I would highly suggest, please find a therapist instead of calling me.
Mhm.
I can't help you through that. But, you know, just accomplishing that one thing, I mean, it changed my outlook so much, you know.
Yeah.
And so now incorporating that kind of thinking into, you know, people are just so down on themselves. I mean, there are very confident men and women that I've spoken with, you know, I mean, very, very successful, but they don't know. They can't see what they've done, because
You don't
we're living
recognize
through
it.
social
Yeah.
media. We're living in FOMO.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
we're seeing these images of what should be, but what should, who?
And aren't
Who's
real
telling you?
usually. They're usually not real. You know, people
No,
only
they're
put
not.
Right.
their best life that doesn't really exist on
Yeah.
Facebook.
It's
And
to the point now where I wish more
We are
people
all
would get
struggling.
that. Yeah.
it doesn't
We are all
true.
struggling.
Yeah.
It
You don't
Some
know.
more than
You don't
others,
know
but-
what a person's struggles are, you know, because they're showing you like a windsurfing picture from like 2005. And you know, you're thinking that they just did it
Right.
last week. It's like, come on. So yeah, it's such an illusion. You know,
It is.
social
Yeah.
media creates this illusion where you know, people are trying to emulate it, and
Oh, yeah.
it's not really real. It's not.
It's dangerous, really. I mean, I'm not
It is
calling
dangerous.
every,
It's a
know,
perfect word for it. It is dangerous that people
it's
put
dangerous
themselves.
to your mental health. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people are susceptible to that, especially those of us who didn't grow up with the internet, to be honest.
Right.
I think
Exactly.
Gen Z
Exactly.
sees through this shit, but
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people in my age group, in our age groups, they, you know, I mean, I find myself looking at stuff and being like, man, I wish I was doing. But then I'm like, I don't know when that picture was taken. I don't. Are they actually smiling? Is it smile? I don't know if it's smiling.
Exactly.
You know,
What
like,
else
why
is
do
going
I
on?
care? I'm in Spain, you know, like, yes, like for instance, I'm in Spain. People think, oh, you're okay, listen, I don't have a ton of money. I'm a tad bit agoraphobic. I don't get out and go live, oh God, I'm gonna say it, La Vida Loca.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it is
Right.
amazing to be here, but there are problems here that I face. Granted, they're different from the US, but there's still problems. I mean,
Oh,
for
yeah.
instance, my language level makes things very hard, and I am over 40 and learning to be very fluent in a language that I didn't know before I got here has been very difficult. You know, even now that I'm a higher level, what I'm encountering is people are very irritated with me. If they hear the accent, they shut down, or if
Really?
I speak a little slower or ask them to
Yeah.
repeat something, they're furious. Not everyone, but it's like not like the US, but a little
Yeah.
bit like that, you know, like people, there are some people who just cannot be bothered to speak with
Mm.
me, or they act like they don't understand, and then I have to ask the person next to me, do you understand me? You know, because I think, am I crazy? I think I said that right. And I'm like, "Mhm." So, you know, the point is everybody has problems. They just are packaged differently, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, everybody
Way to put that.
could use help, you know, and I am here for the people who are ready to work on for themselves. Like, I don't mean start a business. I mean work for you, what you want for yourself. If that's changing something, making something you see as bad to be better, getting to a point in something you love that, you know, but making it an even better point in that thing, you know, whatever it is, like the people I would like to work with are the people who are ready to, because you have to do work.
I was
You
gonna
have
say
to do work.
they gotta put in the work.
I
Yeah.
cannot do it
Absolutely.
for you. I can help you find the path. I
Yeah.
can help you find the path, and I can cheer for you the whole damn time. I will encourage you. I will, you know, I will point out you're looking at things through a very negative point of view. You know, I can help, but you've got to work. And, you know, I will be there. You know, you don't have to do it by yourself, but the people who want to work, that's who I want to work with, because
That's
I want
true,
to chat
though.
with
I mean, that's honestly, nobody's wasting anybody's time. That's the
no,
first thing.
and the thing is, it's useless. I don't, I would love to have a client, you know, with me and have a long-term client, work with them. But the thing is, you're wasting your money and I'm wasting my time if you're not going to work, because
Right.
I can't, this works through talking it out, talking it out. I only do telecalls because we don't do distractions,
Yeah.
no judgment, no evaluation of someone's surroundings. It is just the voice, because I'm listening for changes in your tone. When you say something, sometimes someone's like, oh, you know, I really want to change jobs because I hate my boss, you know, and, you know, also you know, I dreamt of being an artist once. I'm listening for the, you know, like, okay, well, we're going to talk about art for a minute then, you know, because that was just something I heard. And when I'm looking at you, I don't catch those things quite as easily, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Would you,
yeah,
Forces you to
will,
listen.
are you willing to meet a client if they say, could we meet in person at a coffee shop or something?
I
and
would,
have a
I
session?
would, not for the first session, not for the 20 minutes, not for the, like, you know, just for people who are listening and didn't hear last time, we start in who are interested in doing this kind of work. I don't know that every coach does this. I think they should. But before you sign on with me, we do 20 minutes, no obligation. There's no payment. I don't take your credit card information, nothing. You just book a
That's like,
session with
let's
me.
see if this
And
is gonna
it's
work.
kind of, it's exploratory,
Yeah.
because if you have something going on that I can't help you with, there is no use in me. We'll waste each other's time.
Yeah.
And if you have something going on that I'm not qualified to deal with, that is, for instance, a therapy related, or you know, borderline therapy related, I can't work with you then. I can give you some recommendations, but I, you know, for qualified licensed therapists, but I cannot work with you. But, you know, and maybe you don't like me. Maybe you don't like my vibe. Maybe you don't like my style, or the way things are going. Maybe it's not for you. But if I had someone who I'd already done the 20 minutes with, and we realize, okay, this is good, you know. I would meet with them, yes. I would like to probably limit that, just because I think there are too many distractions that go on with that. Visual distractions, auditory distractions, and you know, you're talking. I don't feel like people with someone who is not like your best friend or very close family member. I don't think people are comfortable being very vulnerable in public with someone that they don't know that well.
That's true too. Yeah.
That's true.
Over the phone, I'm a very safe person. I take my pledge very, very seriously. You know, I don't divulge any names or information to anybody, but the thing is, you don't know me. You don't know me. And I can promise anything, but until I prove it to you, you don't know me. And I feel like over the phone, without me seeing your face, without you seeing my face, you know, it's easier for you to just really speak honestly, speak from the place where you need to be speaking and not superficially, because that doesn't, we can't do good work if it's just, you're saying what I think you should say, you know, you're saying what you think you should say, like that doesn't, so.
Yeah, there's got to be a level of trust and a level of honesty. And I think that free 20-minute assessment,
Yeah,
it goes both ways. Like they're assessing you, you're assessing them. Because nowadays, like, I don't know about you, but like I can walk into the dentist office and know, and you know, instinctively whether I'm gonna like this person or not.
Definitely.
Like right now, I hate my dentist, but I gotta go because I haven't checked out any other dentist to see if I have a good vibe with them.
Yeah, no,
He's super condescending and he repeats the same thing the whole entire time. And yeah, it just kind of just put music on.
Put that on your things to do list. Find a new dentist.
Find new dentist, exactly. Interview dentist. But that's what I feel like in this day and age. It's something as delicate as your need for something. You know, whether your need for a coach, your need for a therapist, your need for a dentist, your need for anything. You want to go in and feel out that vibe before you commit. And I feel like we all do that, you know. And here's the thing, I'd be willing to pay, you know, just to know, like I'd be willing to pay for that visit, you know.
Yeah, because I mean,
you are giving it
away
for free.
You want to waste your money? I mean, I'm not going to make it. I would feel horrible if someone was like, oh, okay, let's start with a month package. Okay, great choice. You know, let's do it. And then they pay me and I'm, you know, I don't know. I haven't even set up a refund situation yet because honestly, I'm doing the 20 minutes. We're checking each other out at that point.
Yeah.
You know, if something goes catastrophically wrong, of course, you know, that is negotiable. But, you know, like what I don't want is to get halfway into your first, because the sessions are 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The actual sessions, you know, that's 45 minutes planning, talking, work, you know, work you're going to be doing, setting up your own work, your own schedule for success, you know. We get halfway through that and you can't stand me, or I realize that you are not willing to do any work at all. We've just wasted a ton of each other's time. I have given a booking spot away, you know, for the next month. I have committed, you know, all this time to you and all of my free time, you know, and you have committed to something that you didn't want at all. You realize at that point. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of coaches do this, but I don't think as many coaches do this as should.
Yeah.
I think it's a blessing. Like, I think it's a great way to start off, you know, any kind of relationship, you know. I mean, God, you're spending a lot of time together.
Yeah.
You got to feel like you to know whether it's going to work. And I think it's a great idea.
Commitment to being helpful, to being someone on their side, and to showing you have your integrity and wanting to succeed at what you do and helping them succeed.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I want to make a living. I don't expect to get rich from this. I mean, if I do, that'd be awesome. But I mean, my definition of rich is quite low. So that, like I said, it's just a perspective. But I mean, I'd like to make a living doing this, but not if it's soul sucking. You know, that's the whole
Oh, yeah.
thing. I love helping genuine success. Like, and I don't think someone's going to have like a magic moment every single session. I think that maybe that's impossible because we're working on a large dream. We're setting up dreams, you know, we're setting up goals, big successes, and that doesn't happen overnight, but we can celebrate those small things together. And you know
Right.
what? That's exciting. You
Yeah.
know, to see someone get one step closer to something that they thought they could never get to, or thought that was lost forever, even if it's something small, like that's amazing. Because I
Yeah,
know
and
I
also
was
it's giving
there
them- it's
when
teaching
that changed.
to recognize, teaching them to recognize that just because something is habitual or minor or whatever, it shouldn't be discounted. It should be recognized as
Right.
a little success. Like, don't just discount it. You know what? You vacuumed that hallway and you vacuumed it good.
Right. And you hate vacuuming.
Yes.
That's
But
amazing.
that gets them thinking. It's a way
Mhm.
of thinking that will eventually turn into having them be able to recognize those little successes,
Mhm.
instead of just ignoring them and just,
Realizing that they're fucking powerful.
yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
realizing that you're fucking powerful, because everybody's fucking powerful.
Right.
And I am
It's-
just gonna keep saying fucking powerful, because you can't put powerful without that modifier in front of it. Like in this case.
it brings
Because
it
I
brings it
I
up a
do
level.
believe that, you know,
Yeah.
it is, because we forget. And then we are convinced that it is not real, and we're convinced that it's impossible. And everything in the world convinces us of that, especially when we're older. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Friend, even people who are well-meaning, because you have to realize when you have a good friend who's like, oh, that's kind of a bad idea, unless there's like 20 people saying it, which in that case, maybe evaluate. But
Right.
even maybe a family member or friend, you feel in your gut this is possible, but a friend, close, someone who loves you, they mean well, and they're like, oh, that doesn't mean they're down on you. It means they've been convinced as well. If
Yeah.
everyone around you is convinced that
Right.
it's possible, how
Right.
are you supposed to believe that you can do it? Here's the thing with me, I truly think you can do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, I am not talking about like, horrible illicit things. I mean, if you put your mind to it, I do think that a lot of things are possible that people think they can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I taught myself to build a house.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible. I truly didn't. I thought this is gonna be a mess, but I'm gonna do it because something in my gut says I should, and I'll be okay. And you know what? It was a lot more work than I thought it would be. I am glad that I don't have to do it again. But the thing is, I did it, and that for me was my goal. And I know it wasn't huge, but for me it was huge.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I have no more power than any single one of my clients will have. So if I could do that, you can definitely do what you want to
Yeah, just a matter of I mean, I don't know about you, but I love being around the person that has the success, but
Hmm.
also recognizes it in other people.
do. Yeah.
Like that person that says, I believe in you, or you can do this, that's great too. But that person that has the success that you want to celebrate, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many people that get pitted against each other,
Oh yeah.
or even in any profession, it seems like,
Oh yeah.
I
like,
think the people that say don't, like the people that say it's not possible, are people that haven't gone after their own dreams.
Right. They've given up as well.
They don't
Yeah.
think their thing is possible. So like you're right, Denise, the people that are successful
Exactly.
are going to be more likely to be the ones to say,
yeah, and they celebrate those things, because every profession, from sports, competitive, putting people against each other,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It's like, pick a career, like you name it. There's always this competition, this
Always. Yeah.
matter what,
competitiveness, and that all these people that post the motivational things, like on Facebook, you know what I mean? Like, straighten out that crown. Like, don't, don't be backstabbing your sister, straighten their crown, that kind of thing. It's like, they're goofy and everything, but some of them make an impression. Some of
They
them
really do.
make an
They do.
impression.
You know what? I was just thinking, there's a quote that is so cliche, but it's true. Like, your only competition is yourself. Like,
Mhm.
I know it's cheesy, but it's true. Like,
It is.
you are your roadblock. You are your roadblock.
Yeah.
I can help because I know what your roadblock is. It's you.
Yeah.
We'll narrow down what part that is, but
Yeah.
you are your roadblock. Usually, I mean, barring extreme things, most of the people I've spoken with so far, it's just a matter, they're holding themselves back, and it's not on purpose. You just don't even know anymore. And I'm not saying anything bad about those. I do it all the time. I hold myself back all the time, but I don't realize it until someone is like, you realize you're doing this, right? Like, how? And then, a little introspection.
Yeah.
Oh, I am fucking my life up on accident.
I did that with the cartoon thing. I had this idea of doing the lesbian lounge in little bits, cartoon bits for the last 3.5, 4 years. And way back then, I was approaching a couple of people who I knew had either a background or knew somebody with a background in animation. And so I spoke to this guy, and he said, God, I don't know if you understand what goes into it, but it's like it's a lot of work, like getting the characters to look the way you want them to look, but then rigging them to make the perfect the motions to do, what the script or the sound.
Syncing everything up.
Right. So he's telling me all of this, and he said, unfortunately, I can't do it because I'm in the middle of a project, but I just want you to be aware of what it takes. It's really not an easy task, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 people because everybody has their specialty. So he's telling me all this, and already I'm going like sinking. And after that conversation, and like I said, he didn't say I can't do it. He just said, I'm in the middle of a project right now. But what I heard was, you're not going to find anybody that wants to do this.
I would have heard the same thing.
Right?
Yeah.
So I let it go for all these years, and then, by way of like my friend Linda Anderson saying, hey, I got this great script. Do you want to do a voiceover for a character in a short animation series that I have? And I said, yeah, definitely, I'll do it. Still not thinking about that. So I do the project, and I sent her all my bits, and she said, let's have a quick Zoom meeting. And we jump on, and she's like, I just want to let you know, I feel like you're a natural for this. Like, you really know what you're doing, as far as like, she asked me to do an Eastern European voice. And I'm like, what is this? And I was like, well, there's been a lot of stuff about Putin and Ukraine and Russia. Maybe I could, from all the news, piece together this muddled Eastern European accent. And I did it. So I'm telling her all that, and we're winding things up. And I said, you know what, Lynn, I got a question. And I tell her about my idea. And I said, do you know anybody, or would you be? And her whole face lit up, and she was like, we can do this. And the minute I heard that, it was like everything changed. And I thought,
one person.
I just like crapped on myself for 3.5 years.
Sometimes it just takes someone saying, you can do that.
She was like, this is something we can do. Like,
awesome.
This is what I do. Like, thank God you brought this to me, because I can do that. Yeah. Right. You do the sound bits, I'll do the rigging. We'll find a cartoonist, which took all of like a half a day. Awesome. And turns out the guy lives down the street from me.
Yes, that's weird.
Yeah. So it was all just like this everything, aligned, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. But what it takes is somebody saying, we can do this.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's you. Like, you're telling someone, we can do this.
Oh yeah.
Like someone gets to hear that, and it's not taking 3 years to hear it. Like, to me,
and on top of that, they can do it without me. I don't want to remove myself.
But they don't know that yet.
Or shoot myself in the foot.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't technically need to be there. You can do it. I'm going to help you find the things in you that you forgot about that have always been there.
Yeah.
So you can do the thing. And the thing is, I love doing that. And
that's what people need to hear, though. That's
Because
exactly
the
it.
success is amazing. You know what? I'm gonna go there. I just see a shit ton of straight white men getting everything they want.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's cool for them. But how about a shit ton of lesbian women over 30 getting what they want?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
we need
agree.
more
In
powerful.
any category,
Oh,
white, brown, black,
I do not.
any category,
No,
just
I
any-
let
run
them
into
get
that.
something. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
run into that every week with my band. You know, I'm the girl in the band, but it's my band.
it's
And
yours.
it's
Yeah.
my band, it's my project, it's my music.
Your
And if it's
name.
a particular show, it's my music and my name, my picture on the poster. And it's very hard to get them to listen to me. I don't have a voice in
Not
the
shocked by
room.
this.
That's my room, you know, my thing. And it's just it's a boys club. It's always a boys club. But I hear
Frustrating.
you.
Very
I think
frustrating.
you're 100% right about that. And
I wanna change the balance there, though.
Yeah.
We gotta change the balance.
Yeah.
I wanted to
And
make
this
sure-
is my way of doing it.
I think it's amazing. And I wanted to tell you that before we end the show, I wanted to make sure I got this in that because I knew you were going to be on the show today. The last show you gave me a piece of advice with my waking up in the morning with my negative thoughts of why didn't I get all this stuff done
It was
because I
this,
ate.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the fuck you.
Yes.
Yes.
Negative voice. But
Mhm.
you know what? It really helps like to not only do that, but to think about what you did do that was positive, what you did
Yes.
do that was an accomplishment, even though you didn't get the other thing that you didn't get to it or whatever. Because it's
Those
really
little things are like keys that unlock. That
and I'll tell you what,
They are.
Yeah.
Each door is a little bit bigger. Like JD, you go into all the practices and you continue going, even though you got a bunch of men who are trying to steamroll you out of something with your picture and
Yeah.
name on it. Those are huge accomplishments because you know what? You're within it would be completely understandable if you were like, fuck this.
Yeah.
yeah,
But you keep showing up, even
Yeah.
though you have to deal with this. I mean, I would maybe change those people. I don't know, but
I
like,
tried. Yeah, I couldn't in this situation because of the original music thing. They use
okay.
songs and I can't, you know, but down
Gotcha.
the road, definitely. Or, you know, do a little more solo playing and stuff. But
I mean, you don't need
yeah.
support, you know, I mean, you've got this. And I
It's
mean, but the
frustrating.
point is the accomplishment is you keep going. And
Yeah.
a lot of people wouldn't in the face
Yeah,
of
it's
that,
tough.
you know?
And you feel
Yeah.
like you don't recognize that you keep showing up and you keep giving it your all because you walk away from the situation so frustrated
Feeling terrible.
that you right. So that like that
Right.
attached to it, it's not an accomplishment. It's a, oh my God, I got through it, you know? Like,
Right. Exactly.
but
Yeah, but don't give them that power because the
right. It
power
is an
the fact that
accomplishment.
the power
Right.
is the fact that you got grown men who somehow think they own something that is all you. That's
Yeah.
the audacity. And they're trying to crush you, and you can stand up against that to keep going back. That's power. You know,
Yeah.
don't let them diminish that, you know, like that's
Yeah.
just silly.
What it takes is a rant from me. I have to have a total meltdown rant.
Yes.
And then they all suddenly hear me, you know,
Oh,
and they're
good.
nice people. So they'll be like, oh, well, we don't want to upset you. So used to me
Good.
not ranting, but trying to tell them reasonably what we need to do. And then when I make the rant, it's my picture on the poster. It's
Yeah.
my name on the
Some
poster.
people need a rant.
You need
Yeah.
to.
Ranting.
Unfortunately, it made me have to go there. But, you know, I really
Yeah.
didn't have to.
No,
And
but
I think also as women, and a lot of people like Lucille Ball and like women that were successful in the entertainment world, but I mean in any business, women that are successful have to be that person, and then you get
Oh, yeah.
labeled as the bitch.
Oh,
You
yeah.
That's hard to work with because
Of
you're
course.
just trying to get them to do it right, and they don't hear you. It's frustrating. It is like
With men, it's assertive. It's them being assertive when they yell.
Exactly.
No, it's
So,
you being powerful. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
so I'll have to take that that label if it has to go along with it just to get my things done, my music played right. But
Get shit on the back of your jacket. I would do it. So I would just put it there, just some jewels, you know. Yeah. You know what? Fine.
I earned that title.
Right
I
in the
earned
inside.
that title.
Yeah.
We have to do
Yeah.
what we have to do, but like,
There's nothing wrong with that word if you use it in the correct way, you know, like.
Yes.
yeah, it's
Power-
true. though. It's
It's
true.
very
It's gotta,
powerful.
it doesn't always have to be, a negative connotation attached to it. Like it's the
No,
fact that that's kind of the level that you have to be at to get people to pay
it's
attention,
true.
listen to, whatever.
I
But
think women have to scream in order to be,
Exactly.
you have to startle the people in the room. And unfortunately, I mean, some people are lucky to not have that environment, but I think that's the prevailing environment right now, especially for women in a male dominated workplace. You
Yeah.
have to have a meltdown. And I'm putting air
Exactly.
quotes for a reason to get anything across. And that is so messed up. But
yeah,
that's my work on like powerful discourse, powerful words, intention in your words, because you know what? Who cares if they are scared of you and they call you? Who cares? You got their attention for the first time. You did.
Exactly.
Screw it. If that's the only way to listen, make them hear you.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
true. I remember a perfect,
before.
yeah, a perfect situation when I was working at the pub. Like I was low man on the totem pole because I, had just been hired and all that. And my assistant manager was a young girl. And then there was the manager who was just maybe a few years older than her, not a lot, not a huge age difference or anything, maybe 4 or 5 years. But she always came to him with these great ideas and he would shoot them down when he should have been taking them to corporate and saying, hey, look, we had this idea. But I feel like his thing was they'll never go for it. Like they have a real certain way of doing things and they'll never go for it or whatever. So it comes time that like our pub is being sold and they're placing people at different locations and all that, right? I opted like not to continue to work for the company, so I wasn't going. But my assistant manager went to this pub and she worked with a guy who would hold our quiz night type. He would come in and host quiz nights or whatever, but he ran a really nice place in a few cities over. So she went to work for him and he implemented so many of her ideas and that place did so well. It did so well, and it just shows you if you have like I know that like my manager, he didn't mean anything other than the company that we work for sucks and they wouldn't go for this.
Right.
You know what? That guy worked for the same company.
No.
He was taking her ideas and he was getting them done,
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it just, what I mean? Like it was just one of those things that made me look back and go, damn.
Can I stop you guys just for a minute? I know this is editable, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my dog is losing her damn mind. Just 1 second.
Oh, okay.
There was a Hallmark movie
She's
about
throwing my shoes.
that.
No, no ma'am.
We're in edit mode. That was
We're very smart. Come on.
Denise, there was a Hallmark movie about that, what you just said about your story.
I feel like it probably happens a lot, but for me to see it with my own eyes,
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
yeah. And like I said, there, nothing wrong with the guy. He was just kind of lazy, and I don't think he wanted to hear them say no either,
Yeah.
So my dog has a new skill and she is way too smart for her own good. She does not like being shut outside of the room without the bedroom being open because it's bedtime.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a new thing. This has never happened before. I started hearing, the reason I stopped you guys is I started hearing this. She's been whining for about half an hour, but she's fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
She's got everything. But I've never heard the sound before. And just a minute ago, I started hearing thump, 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 thump. And I don't know what the hell she's doing. I go out there, she is picking up my shoe and dropping it from mouth level on the floor. And hiking boots. And she's doing it right at the door.
That's amazing.
6 shoes outside of the door that she's just been, I'm like, what is she doing? So now, yeah.
That's awesome.
She
Yeah, my
is,
cats learned to open the door because of our door handles aren't round here.
no,
Right?
My
yes,
dog used to do
or it
that.
can do it with the latch. It's
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I have to tell the guests when they go in the ladies, in the bathroom, like, don't be surprised if the door flings open. It's just a cat. It's just a cat. And now she's sleeping like a little angel because you're right. It is bedtime. So we're gonna let you go. And we're gonna have you back
Oh, man.
October,
Yes.
end of October.
Yes, I should bring contact information on a little sheet and just put it above my head or something. Just,
Put it right over your shoulder, right over your.
I should just, here's my WhatsApp. No, but it's julieschurr.info@gmail.com, but my name is weird to spell. And if you've got WhatsApp, it's +34 and it's 6939293990. So if you want a free session, that's how to contact me. And I'm sure that, these lovely people.
They can look you up on Facebook too. They can message.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah, it's Julie Schurr. I don't really have the business end of things going yet, but if they want to reach out to me, they can contact me on my personal page. Yeah, of course.
That's fantastic.
They're welcome, and give me a day or two because I don't always check those message request things because it's usually just somebody trying to sell me something. But
Right.
Reach out. Either way. Yeah, it's been so great to talk to you guys again. I love this.
I do too. I'm really looking forward to next month because like each show there's more progress. People are they're understanding more about what you do, and you're getting closer to your big launch. So I think it all works hand in hand. And right now I feel like there's probably not a lot of people out there that couldn't use a coach. You know what I mean? So
I would have to agree with you.
Yeah. We're gonna send them all your way when we find them.
Oh, please do. Well, not all, but most. That's great.
Excellent. All right, my friend. We'll see you next month.
Love you guys. Bye.
Okay, take it easy. Bye, guys.
Why do you always run back to the lover you
Like, never stop chasing your dreams.
You're addicted to her touch. That's true.
See?
And I confess, my addiction is you.
We drank way too much whiskey.